Language Foundations Vocabulary Flashcards, helping you achieve understanding.
Assign a rank or rating to. Assign a grade or rank to, according to one's evaluation. Grade tests. The height of the ground on which something stands. The base of the tower was below grade. A number or letter indicating quality, especially of a student's performance. Grade a milk. A degree of oblaut. A body of students who are taught together. 1/100th of a right angle. A relative position or degree of value in a graded group. Lumber of the highest grade. A position on a scale of intensity or amount or quality. A moderate grade of intelligence. A variety of cattle produced by crossbreeding with a superior breed. Determine the grade of or assign a grade to. Level to the right gradient. The gradient of a slope or road or other surface. The road had a steep grade. Usually plural, the status or rank or office of a Christian clergyman in an ecclesiastical hierarchy. Assign a rank or rating to. A commercial document used to request someone to supply something in return for payment and providing specifications and quantities. IBM received an order for 100 computers. A group of person living under a religious rule. The Order of Saint Benedict. Give instructions to or direct somebody to do something with authority. She ordered him to do the shopping. Appoint to a clerical posts. Issue commands or orders for. A degree in a continuum of size or quantity. It was on the order of a mile. A condition of regular or proper arrangement. He put his desk in order. A body of rules followed by an assembly. A legally binding command or decision entered on the court record, as if issued by a court or judge. A friend in New Mexico said that the order caused no trouble out there. Arrange thoughts, ideas, temporal events. The act of putting things in a sequential arrangement. There were mistakes in the ordering of items on the list. A formal association of people with similar interests. Men from the fraternal order will staff the soup kitchen today. Logical or comprehensible arrangement of separate elements. We shall consider these questions in the inverse order of their presentation. Bring into conformity with rules or principles or usage. Impose regulations. Architecture. One of original three styles of Greek architecture distinguished by the type of column and entablature used or a style developed from the original three by the Romans. A request for something to be made, supplied, or served. I gave the waiter my order. Biology, taxonomic group containing one or more families. Bring order to or into. Established customary state, especially of society. Order ruled in the streets. Make a request for something. Order a work stoppage. Often plural, a command given by a superior, e.g., a military or law enforcement officer, that must be obeyed. The British ships dropped anchor and waited for orders from London. Place in a certain order. Order the photos chronologically. A job in an organization. Assign a location to. A point located with respect to surface features of some region. This is a nice place for a picnic. Assign a rank or rating to the particular portion of space occupied by something. He put the lamp back in its place. A particular situation. If you were in my place, what would you do? Assigned to a station. A space reserved for sitting, as in a theater or on a train or airplane. He sat in someone else's place. Recognize as being. Establish the identity of someone or something. Where you live at a particular time. Your place or mine. Identify the location or place of. Locate. Take a place in a competition, often followed by an ordinal. Put into a certain place or abstract location. A public square with room for pedestrians. Make an investment. Proper or designated social situation. He overstepped his place. A blank area. Any area set aside for a particular purpose. Who owns this place? Estimate. An item on a list or in a sequence. In the second place. Intend, something, to move towards a certain goal. The post or function properly or customarily occupied or served by another. Took his place. A general vicinity. He comes from a place near Chicago. An abstract mental location. He has a special place in my thoughts. Assigned to, a job or a home. Finish second or better in a horse or dog race. He bet $2 on number 6 to place. Place somebody in a particular situation or location. He was placed on probation. Proper or appropriate position or location. A woman's place is no longer in the kitchen. Sing a note with the correct pitch. The passage that is being read. He lost his place on the page. To arrange for. Place a phone call. Assign a rank or rating to. Range or extend over. Occupy a certain area. The limit of capability. The limits within which something can be effective. Range of motion. An area in which something acts or operates or has power or control. The range of a supersonic jet. A series of hills or mountains. The valley was between two ranges of hills. Feed as in a meadow or pasture. Move about aimlessly or without any destination, often in search of food or employment. Change or be different within limits. Estimates for the losses in the earthquake range as high as $2 billion. Mathematics. The set of values of the dependent variable for which a function is defined. A kitchen appliance used for cooking food. Lay out orderly or logically in a line or as if in a line. A large tract of grassy open land on which livestock can graze. They used to drive the cattle across the open range every spring. A place for shooting, firing or driving projectiles of various kinds. The Army maintains a missile range in the desert. A variety of different things or activities. He answered a range of questions. Have a range. Be capable of projecting over a certain distance, as of a gun. This gun ranges over 2 miles. Let eat. Range the animals in the prairie. Assign a rank or rating to. How would you rank these students? The ordinary members of an organization, such as the enlisted soldiers of an army. The strike was supported by the Union rank and file. Conspicuously and outrageously bad or reprehensible. Rank treachery. Position in a social hierarchy. Take precedence or surpass others in rank. Complete and without restriction or qualification, sometimes used informally as intensifiers. A rank outsider. The body of members of an organization or group. They found dissension in their own ranks. A row or line of people, especially soldiers or police, standing abreast of one another. The entrance was guarded by ranks of policemen. Growing profusely. Rank jungle vegetation. Relative status. His salary was determined by his rank and seniority. Take or have a position relative to others. This painting ranks among the best in the Western world. Very fertile, producing profuse growth. Rank earth. Very offensive in smell or taste. A rank cigar. Assign a rank or rating to. The restaurant is rated highly in the food guide. The relative speed of progress or change. He works at a great rate. Amount of a charge or payment relative to some basis. A 10-minute phone call at that rate would cost $5. Estimate the value of. How would you rate his chances to become president? A magnitude or frequency relative to a time unit. They traveled at a rate of 55 miles per hour. A quantity or amount or measure considered as a proportion of another quantity or amount or measure. The literacy rate. Be worthy of or have a certain rating. This bond rates highly. Celebrate by some ceremony or observation. The citizens mark the anniversary of the revolution with a march and a parade. Insert punctuation marks into. Establish as the highest level or best performance. Assign a grade or rank to, according to one's evaluation. Mark homework. Remove from a list. A symbol of disgrace or infamy. And the Lord set a mark upon Cain. A visible indication made on a surface. Some previous reader had covered the pages with dozens of marks. A person who is gullible and easy to take advantage of. A number or letter indicating quality, especially of a student's performance. She made good marks in algebra. A perceptible indication of something not immediately apparent, as a visible clue that something has happened. Something that exactly succeeds in achieving its goal. Hit the mark. An indication of damage. Formerly the basic unit of money in Germany. A distinguishing symbol. The owner's mark was on all the sheep. Apostle and companion of St. Peter, assumed to be the author of the second gospel. To accuse or condemn or openly or formally or brand as disgraceful. A marking that consists of lines that cross each other. Make small marks into the surface of. A reference point to shoot at. His arrow hit the mark. The shortest of the 4 Gospels in the New Testament. Put a check mark on or near or next to. Mark off the units. Be a distinctive feature, attribute, or trait, sometimes in a very positive sense. Attach a tag or label to. Notice or perceive. Mark my words. Mark with a scar. Make underscoring marks. A written or printed symbol, as for punctuation. His answer was just a punctuation mark. Designate as if by a mark. This sign marks the border. Make or leave a mark on. The scouts marked the trail. The impression created by doing something unusual or extraordinary that people notice and remember. It was in London that he made his mark. A written form of a musical composition. Parts for different instruments appear on separate staves on large pages. He studied the score of the sonata. A resentment strong enough to justify retaliation. Settling a score. A slight surface cut, especially a notch that is made to keep a tally. Gain points in a game. The home team scored many times. Assign a grade or rankta, according to one's evaluation. Score the SAT essays. Grounds. He tried to blame the victim, but his success on that score was doubtful. Induce to have sex. Did you score last night? A number or letter indicating quality, especially of a student's performance. What was your score on your homework? Make small marks into the surface of. Score the clay before firing it. A seduction culminating in sexual intercourse. Calling his seduction of the girl a score was a typical example of male slang. Make underscoring marks. An amount due, as at a restaurant or bar. Add it to my score and I'll settle later. A number that expresses the accomplishment of a team or an individual in a game or contest. The score was 7-0. A set of 20 members. A score were sent out but only one returned. Get a certain number or letter indicating quality or performance. She scored high on the SAT. The act of scoring in a game or sport. The winning score came with less than a minute left to play. The facts about an actual situation. He didn't know the score. Write a musical score for. The floor of a building that is at or nearest to the level of the ground around the building. The height of the ground on which something stands. Relative position in a graded series. Subtle gradations in color. A degree of ablaut. The act of arranging in grades. A body of students who graduate together. The class of 97. People having the same social, economic, or educational status. The working class. Arrange or order by classes or categories. How would you classify these pottery shards? Are they prehistoric? Education imparted in a series of lessons or meetings. Flirting is not unknown in college classes. A body of students who are taught together. Early morning classes are always sleepy. A collection of things sharing a common attribute. There are two classes of detergents. A league ranked by quality. He played baseball in Class D for 2 years. Biology. A taxonomic group containing one or more orders. Elegance in dress or behavior. She has a lot of class. General line of orientation. The river takes a southern course. Construction. A layer of masonry. A course of bricks. A connected series of events or actions or developments. The government took a firm course. As might be expected. A mode of action. If you persist in that course, you will surely fail. A body of students who are taught together. Education imparted in a series of lessons or meetings. He took a course in basket weaving. Move along, of liquids. A line or route along which something travels or moves. The course of the river. Facility consisting of a circumscribed area of land or water laid out for a sport. The course had only 9 holes. Hunt with hounds. He often courses hares. Move swiftly through or over. Part of a meal served at one time. She prepared a 3-course meal. The visual appearance of something or someone. A perceptual structure. The composition presents problems for students of musical form. The phonological or orthographic sound or appearance of a word that can be used to describe or identify something. The inflected forms of a word can be represented by a stem in a list of inflections to be attached. Make something, usually for a specific function. Any spatial attributes, especially as defined by outline. Establish or impress firmly in the mind. A body of students who are taught together. Create, as an entity. Social groups form everywhere. Biology. A group of organisms within a species that differ in trivial ways from similar groups. A category of things distinguished by some common characteristic or quality. Sculpture as a form of art. A life-size dummy used to display clothes. Develop into a distinctive entity. Alternative names for the body of a human being. The spatial arrangement of something is distinct from its substance. To compose or represent. This wall forms the background of the stage setting. Give shape or form to. Form the young child's character. Physical chemistry. A distinct state of matter in a system. Matter that is identical in chemical composition and physical state and separated from other material by the phase boundary. A mold for setting concrete. They built elaborate forms for pouring the foundation. An ability to perform well. He was at the top of his form. An arrangement of the elements in a composition or discourse. The essay was in the form of a dialogue. A particular mode in which something is manifested. His resentment took the form of extreme hostility. A printed document with spaces in which to write. He filled out his tax form. Assume a form or shape. The water formed little beads. A person who has received a degree from a school, high school or college or university. 1/100th of a right angle. A specific identifiable position in a continuum or series or especially in a process. Indicator that establishes the horizontal when a bubble is centered in a tube of liquid. A flat surface at right angles to a plumb line. Park the car on the level. Direct into a position for use. Of the score in a contest. Become level or even. The ground leveled off. Tear down so as to make flat with the ground. The building was leveled. An abstract place usually conceived as having depth. A good actor communicates on several levels. A relative position or degree of value in a graded group. Having a surface without slope, tilt in which no part is higher or lower than another. Acres of level farmland. Not showing abrupt variations. Spoke in a level voice. A position on a scale of intensity or amount or quality. A high level of care is required. A structure consisting of a room or set of rooms at a single position along a vertical scale. What level is the office on? Make level or straight. Level the ground. Aim at. Level criticism or charges at somebody. Being on a precise horizontal plane. A billiard table must be level. Height above ground. The water reached ankle level. Oriented at right angles to the plumb. The picture is level. Talk frankly with. Lay it on the line. I have to level with you. A worker who ties something. A relative position or degree of value in a graded group. Any one of two or more competitors who tie one another. One of two or more layers one atop another. Tier upon tier of huge casks. Something that is used for tying. The sail is fastened to the yard with tiers. A specific identifiable position in a continuum or series or especially in a process. A remarkable degree of frankness. A measure for arcs and angles. There are 360 degrees in a circle. An award conferred by a college or university signifying that the recipient has satisfactorily completed a course of study. He earned his degree at Princeton summa cum laude. A position on a scale of intensity or amount or quality. It is all a matter of degree. A unit of temperature on a specified scale. The game was played in spite of the 40-degree temperature. The highest power of a term or variable. The seriousness of something, e.g., a burn or crime. Murder in the second degree. Form a critical opinion of. We shouldn't pass judgment on other people. Judge tentatively or form an estimate of quantities or time. Pronounce judgment on. Form a critical opinion of. I cannot judge some works of modern art. An authority who is able to estimate worth or quality. Put on trial or hear a case and sit as the judge at the trial of. The judge tried both father and son in separate trials. A public official authorized to decide questions brought before a court of justice. Determine the result of a competition. Form a critical opinion of. How do you evaluate this grant proposal? Evaluate or estimate the nature, quality, ability, extent, or significance of a statute in draft before it becomes law. How much there is or how many there are of something that you can quantify. A basis for comparison. A reference point against which other things can be evaluated. They set the measure for all subsequent work. Any maneuver made as part of progress toward a goal. The situation called for strong measures. Determine the measurements of something or somebody, take measurements of. The act or process of assigning numbers to phenomena according to a rule. The measurements were carefully done. Express as a number or measure or quantity. Prosody. The accent in a metrical foot of verse. Measuring instrument having a sequence of marks at regular intervals, used as a reference in making measurements. Musical notation for a repeating pattern of musical beats. Evaluate or estimate the nature, quality, ability, extent, or significance of a container of some standard capacity that is used to obtain fixed amounts of a substance. Have certain dimensions. This table surfaces measures 20 inches by 36 inches. Regard highly. Think much of. Music. The relative duration of a musical note. Hold dear. Estimate the value of. The amount, of money or goods or services, that is considered to be a fair equivalent for something else. He tried to estimate the value of the produce at normal prices. Evaluate or estimate the nature, quality, ability, extent, or significance of an ideal accepted by some individual or group. He has old-fashioned values. A numerical quantity measured or assigned or computed. The value assigned was 16 milliseconds. Fix or determine the value of. Assign a value to. Value the jewelry and artwork in the estate. Relative darkness or lightness of a color. I establish the colors and principal values by organizing the painting into 3 values, dark, medium and light. The quality, positive or negative, that renders something desirable or valuable. The Shakespearean Shylock is of dubious value in the modern world. Evaluate or estimate the nature, quality, ability, extent, or significance of. Consider in a comprehensive way. He appraised the situation carefully before acting. Evaluate or estimate the nature, quality, ability, extent, or significance of. I will have the family jewels appraised by a professional. Set or determine the amount of a payment such as a fine. Evaluate or estimate the nature, quality, ability, extent, or significance of. Charge a person or a property with a payment, such as a tax or a fine. Estimate the value of property for taxation. Our house hasn't been assessed in years. Angular distance above the horizon, especially of a celestial object. The event of something being raised upward. An elevation of the temperature in the afternoon. The act of increasing the wealth or prestige or power or scope of something. His elevation to cardinal. The highest level or degree attainable. The highest stage of development. A raised or elevated geological formation. Ballet. The height of a dancer's leap or jump. A dancer of exceptional elevation. Distance of something above a reference point, such as sea level. There was snow at the higher elevations. Drawing of an exterior of a structure. Act of ascertaining or fixing the value or worth of. Rank in a military organization. An appraisal of the value of something. Standing or position on a scale. An appraisal of the value of something. He set a high valuation on friendship. Assessed price. The valuation of this property is much too high. Act of ascertaining or fixing the value or worth of. An appraisal of the value of something. A vowel whose quality or length is changed to indicate linguistic distinctions, such as sing, sang, sung, song. A system of components assembled together for a particular purpose. Several things grouped together or considered as a whole. A group of persons together in one place. The social act of assembling.
Become our student and get access to effective and free educational materials. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to become a part of our growing YouTube community and to learn English effectively.